Hey there, friends of Hou Koda. I'm guessing you're looking at this because you need to edit part of the pages or some of the pages on the Hou Koda website. Well, come along on a little journey. Let's bring up our favorite browser. I'm going to be using Chrome. I would say Chrome or Firefox would be my preferred choices for working on this. If you go to houkoda.org, you can navigate just like normal. We're going to do this under the Civic username for Civic Service, but this would be true for any of the accounts that are given to you for the most part. Here is the Civic Service page. Let's say if it's already an existing page and you want to make a modification, then what should you do? Well, very simple. Take a look at the page, see what needs to be done. Journey to Excellence. You know what? Let's put in what the shortcut or the short name, JTE, in there so that people recognize it, especially if they do a search on the website for JTE. Then, because right now, if you do a JTE, I'm guessing it doesn't show up anything. Nope, nothing returns for JTE. Or let's try J2E. Nope, nothing. We're going to fix that. So let's edit. To do that, go to the web page URL that I gave you, or wp-admin. That's the WordPress admin. Civic is already set up for me. I'm going to log in as the Civic user. And now you're confronted with the dashboard. These items on the left, most of them you won't really use. Posting is for a blog post. We don't use that. Media is where all the clip art is. Could also be really any type of media file. If you're going to do very long video files, contact me so we can make arrangements for how we're going to do that versus actually serving that out from our server. If it's on a YouTube video, you're going to see a very, very simple way to take care of that without having to embed anything here. Pages are where you're really concerned with. That's where you're going to be doing all your work. So we wanted to go to Civic Service. Now, you want to edit this. This is a little confusing. There are three choices for every page that say edit. There is edit, which you would think that's what you use. But unfortunately, if you click on that, it's going to take you to the default editor, and there's no content there. So you have to click again to edit with Elementor. Elementor is the interface that we use to edit most of these pages because honestly, it just looks prettier, it's easier to use, and you can click and drag for better content, as you'll see in a few minutes. Let's go back and show you what the other edits do. Quick edit, that does not allow you to edit the page very quickly. Actually, what it is, it allows you to edit the title and what they call the slug. The slug is what happens after the slash in the URL. So you've got www.houkoda.org/ whatever the slug is. So in this case, it's /civic. By default, it would probably be civic-service, but I shorten it to civic just so it's easy. Let's go back to the pages. What you ultimately want for any of these pages, if you're going to edit them, is to go edit with Elementor. That's the fastest way. But there are two ways to get there. You saw it. Fabulous, Chris. Show me more. All right, here's the page. I'm going to make this a little, you can move this back and forth. I'm going to make it a little bit easier to see. With that, here is the page in the editing form. You'll notice there are boxes that surround each content. If you click on the box, that is the content. Let me make this a little bit bigger. That is the content for the entire section. I'm going to scroll to the left and right a little bit. Let me make this. There we go. Now you can see the whole box. That is for the entire bounding area. Then inside of there is a picture. If you click on the picture, you can change the picture. If you wanted to change it to the youth protection image and put that in there, great. Now it's that. We don't want that, so hit Control-Z if you're on Windows or a Chromebook. Command-Z if you're on a Mac. Go back to what you had. If you wanted to, down here at Journey to Excellence, you can click on the pencil for this bounding section. Click on the pencil, and now off to the left, let me make this bigger, here is where the context is. This is really the text, and it's easier to edit here. So what I might do is JTE. Bum, bum, bum. Actually, better yet, I'm going to put it down here. For Journey to Excellence, also known as JTE. There we go. Let's update it. Now what I find, now it's been updated, that is real, it's published, the entire world can see it. What I do, in order to view this, you can bring up another tab, but if you do that, you're going to find houkoda.org. You can get to the page, but now you've got this weird top menu, extra menu, because it knows that you're logged in. So rather than doing that, I suggest going to, if you're in Chrome, go to incognito window. Then you're like hiding. It doesn't know who you are. Go back to the page. And committees, civic service. Scroll down, Journey to the Excellence. To Excellence, also known as JTE. So now, I bet, let's go back to the home page. If we click search, if we look up JTE, booyah, there it is. Now we have a civic service page. Well, what is this about? Oh, Journey to Excellence. Great. All right, so that's a good example of how that is. Great. Now let's go back to my main page. Here we are where we were editing. That's great. Take care, put in new sections, all that. When you're done, the little top hamburger, I call it the hamburger, but it's the 3 lines that are horizontal. Click on that, exit to dashboard. If you haven't saved or published the page that you're on and have made changes, it'll prompt you saying, do you really want to leave? What if you want to make a whole new page? And I'm going to use this to show you how you can also do things on other pages. When you create a new page, it does not automatically put it in the menu. If you need that to be in the top menu, email me or contact me and let me know. But I would suggest taking this blank Clone Me page at the very top, which is a very generic template, and just simply say clone. That's why I put Clone Me, because I want you to clone it. And when you do, that'll create 2 copies. Now, the top one is the original. This bottom one, the second one, is in draft status. That means it hasn't been used yet. So you can go to Quick Edit and rename it. Whoops. Rename it to something like Flying with Scouts. We're just gonna call it the houkoda.org/blah. What do you want? We're gonna call it Fly. We'll call it Flying. All right. So we've got Flying, we update it, we go back. It's still in draft because we haven't published anything, but now it's a different name. Great. So now let's edit with Elementor. So up it comes, and in here is the very generic place. So we're going to say Fly with Scouting. I don't know why. Or Scouting, Flying with Scouting. Oh, well, Fly with Scouting. That's fine. Let's say we want to put a new section in, and we have quite a bit of different type of widgets you can put in here. So up here next to Edit Heading, once we're done, click somewhere else. Click on this little 3x3 little grid, and that gives you all the options. You have sections, headings, images, just text, and inside that it's like a little Word document where you can create different fonts, different sizes. You can insert video, which includes from YouTube and Vimeo, buttons, dividers, spacers, Google Maps, if you want to put in the address and automatically show a Google map, certain icons. You've got these general things where you can do an image and box and experiment around, play with it, have fun. I would suggest creating a temporary page like this to experiment with how you're going to do it so you don't really mess up your good page. You can put, if you know some HTML, you can actually put direct HTML in there if you want, or some tables or whatever the data, whatever may meet your need. I'm going to say I want to put in 2 sections, left and right, and I want it to do 2 different things. Let's do a widget here, and we want a left and a right section, the left being a little bit smaller than the right. And on the left, I want to show a video. So again, I hit the 3x3 grid, and I want a video, and I want to put it right in there. Now in here, I want to show a video that talks about scout skills. So I come to Crossroads and I see something that they've been doing. Whoops. And here's, is there anything about flying? Let's just do about folding a flag. Sure. Great. So we come here. Let's copy and paste the URL to YouTube. Copy. Go back. Click on that video link. Actually, what I really want to do is click on the little pencil. That allows me to edit without running the video. The source is YouTube. It could be any of these others, but YouTube. Click in here and paste in the URL that I was given. I could actually have it start and end in a different place. I could decide to autoplay as soon as you come into the page, which is cool, but I want it muted because I don't want people to see it. But, you know, I want them to be able to. And do I want it to show up on mobile phones? Yeah, sure. Why not? They have unlimited data. And do I want to loop it? Sure. Let's loop it. All right. Publish it. Cool. Now, over here on this other side, I want to put something about whatever. So I come back here to the 3x3 grid, and I go, you know what? First thing, I want to put a heading. And I want to say, I'm going to edit it on the left side. So I'm going to say, it's time to get flying with new scout skills. I don't know, it's kind of boring, but okay. It's great. Click off of it. Now I'm going to come back to the grid, and I'm going to say I just want some text underneath that. So I bring it right up underneath there, and now I can put blah, blah, blah. I can put all this text right inside there. And I'm just going to leave the temporary text that they have there. But let's say I wanted to make this a link. So I can click on that. Click on the little link here and say that goes to www.google.com/q equals flags. It's not even a valid. I don't even think it's valid, but oh well. All right, looks good. Let's try updating it. And let's go back to my incognito. Now, it's not on the menu, so I'm actually going to have to just type in the address, flying, hit enter. And sure enough, there it is. It's time to get flying with new scout skills. The video automatically starts, and off you go. And you've got some video. Yay. Cool. Pretty nifty. All right. Let's go back to the editing session. That's great. Let's say we don't like this. You can always right-click on that little pencil and say delete and put something else there. Maybe there's an image that you want. And this image, you come over, put in a new one. You know what? Let's just, let's do all these scouts together. Yes. All right. So now we've got all these scouts. It's time. All these scouts want to go flying. And then finally, the top area. This is kind of cool. You click again on the bounding box that holds this entire section together. Let me make it so it's easier to see. And by clicking on there, you can actually pick how it behaves, the style. So whether when you hover over it, does it change colors or anything like that? In this case, we can pick a color. We can say, okay, we want the whole thing to be blue. Cool. That looks very scouty. But let's say, no, I don't want a color. I want a picture. So you go down here to picture. Say I want something with all these clocks, because nothing says flying like clocks, because time is flying. There you go. Update. Let's go back to our browser, refresh. Hey, that's pretty good. That's coming along pretty good. All right, let's go back. But wait, there is a little bit more of a cool thing we could do. Let's just, of all the crazy things, let's look for background video loop. There are a lot of videos out there. See this one? Yeah, that's pretty cool. It looks like you're in the clouds flying with happy little music. All right, let's copy and paste that. We don't care about the 2 seconds. Let's copy that. Go back here. This is pretty cool. Where you're here at the picture, let's delete that. I'm going to stretch this out so you can see a little bit more. Instead of doing a picture or any kind of color, You can actually fade, so you can have multiple colors. You can pick a slideshow or video, paste that URL in. Booyah! Now you got cool clouds or whatever you may have found. Now, you may want to put a background fallback. Like if it doesn't work and the device can't play video or it can't keep up, what image do you want? Well, okay, we'll go back to the clocks. That's cool. Let's update it. Bump. All right, let's take a look. Refresh. And clouds flying with scouting. Is that cool or what? So the other thing, what I've done here is when you are in your browser looking at it, if you want to see what it looks like on a mobile device, there are two ways. One, if you go back to your actual where you're editing, let's make this a little smaller. You can click down here in the bottom left, responsive mode, click it, and you can see what it would kind of look like on a tablet or a mobile phone. Now, this actually thinks on a mobile phone, it would still play. If we go to Chrome here, you can, of course, try it on your phone. If you bring this in, you will see what it behaves. And on this browser, when it's small like that, it's sending to the server going, I'm a mobile device, and it will not show it. So it defaults back to the other. If you really wanted it to be seen, go back to your editor, and if we go, make sure we're clicked there. Yes, play once, play on mobile. This is for the video. Yes, we want that. Update it. Come back to your browser, refresh, and it should, yep, now the video works. I will caution you, you probably don't always want to do that. What I would really do is I would take a screenshot of that video and put that in there so it looks like it. And then if something can't load, at least you've got pretty flowers, you've got pretty clouds, and you can go from there. There you go. That's also happy. So when you're all done, then you hit the little hamburger, you exit, and now you've got Flying with Scouts. And if you look at all the pages out there, of course, they're going to be in alphabetical order. So Flying with Scouts is right there. If you decide that you really don't like this page anymore, that's fine. Just click trash and it throws it away. If you really want to get rid of it, you can go into the trash can and you can actually say, delete that permanently. That is pure evil. I want nothing to do with it. And sure enough, if you go back to your page and refresh, hey, guess what? Flying isn't there. It doesn't exist. Okay, I'm sorry. Okay. That is, in a nutshell, how you take care of editing. Feel free to create. You can even, if the page you're going to update, you can clone it and then update that page and make sure you know what you're doing before you actually get in there and create havoc. I take backups of the server right now, the entire server and all the pages every week. So if you do mess up something too bad, we can go back to the previous Sunday night. With that, when you're done, simply hover over the top right and log out, and you're all done. And now you're just a normal user browsing the web page. So that probably opened up a whole can of worms of things that you could be asking and doing, but feel free to go in and create some other pages. If you create other pages, no one else will be able to see it unless you tell them to go to that page or you link to it. So it's a good place to experiment and just see what you can do. If you have questions, call me, text me, email me, send a carrier pigeon, whatever. Enjoy and have fun.